Hi, friends.
Good morning, friends. How the hell are you?
Okay, so
I'm doing fine.
not only are we not scrambling to share, but I also crack up when John says good morning and it's 12:30 in the afternoon.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Welcome
It's
to
10:25 here. So, isn't that kind
okay.
of remarkable how time is? Time is different all around the planet, all around the world, the same song, but they're not the same time.
All right, I'm also gonna get real nerdy. So I was watching a reel earlier, and speaking of perspective and perception, I was watching a reel earlier and it was some science guy. Don't ask me who it is, I have no idea. But he was talking about how the tides don't come in and out.
Hmm.
The bowl of water is always there and the earth just spins
Hmm.
in that bowl of water. And that's
Hmm.
what makes it appear as if the tides go in and out. And I was just mind blown
Wait,
by
wait,
that.
wait. The water's not actually moving; it's the Earth moving.
Is the earth moving?
Wow, that's some dope ass shit. That's
Time's
just not
not
cool.
real, tides aren't real.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Wow,
all just an interesting point of view, which is not our topic, but it might be based on the look on John's face right now.
wow. Huh. Everything's the opposite it appears to be. Shit.
And nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Wow.
I think we could tie this all together, actually.
Yeah. Because our title, y'all, some little boy shit.
Mhm.
And
Because we were ranting one day about relating,
yeah.
and John just kept pointing out the little boy shit I was encountering in my relating.
So yeah, 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 yeah. So and it's like and it's almost like that earth spinning and the water not moving thing. That's what it got. Because that just I'm biting off on that right now. But uh it is a little bit like that because I recognize that sometimes guys are doing just the opposite because they don't know. And people don't hold them or make them accountable.
I
So
really cannot believe. Go ahead.
as little boys, I think that's what happens. I really sometimes think that people forget that the little boy gonna leave the house and they're gonna be doing some shit that they were doing since they've been a little boy. Now, part of me, now you this rant that I have now goes to one of my clients I had last week, where the mom had the audacity to act like I was the daddy of her child. Yeah, she was saying some stuff like, "You should be doing this for my kid." I only had this kid for 3 days. I just got this case 3 days ago, and I'm like, my three are adults. This is not my child. What else is fucking possible with this shit? But what happens is that she's creating that beast because what she's doing or not doing with that child.
Man, damn, yo. So this is like so deep. I thought we were just gonna get on here and rant about my exes. Um, but as I am navigating, steering two melanated men in America into adulthood,
Uh-huh.
parenting under resourced,
Uh-huh.
healing my own trauma
Hmm.
as I raise these young men. And I like it's everybody's fault.
What do you mean it's everybody's fault? Say that somewhere.
It is like I am in this spot right now
Uh-huh.
because Cynthia's dad was abusive. And Cynthia's dad was abusive because he had been enslaved.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my great
Grandpa.
grandfather
Yeah.
and my grandmother who abused my mother, who did more neglecting than abusing me,
Yeah.
but nonetheless. So here I am, a hot ass mess,
Hmm.
trying to gentle parent, trying to really fully parent my children and not like raise another puddle of trauma
Hmm.
while in the process of healing my own trauma. I need to be able to drink. This is not right. This is not okay.
So check this out though. And this is a cliche thing. Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people. And if you're the person who decides to stop being the one that hurts people, it's
Hmm.
really fucking hard.
And you also have to, it has to be retro too. You have to be willing to not be hurt yourself too. And what I mean by that, I always make this comment: put the mask when you're on the airplane, put the mask on your monkey ass first before you pass the fuck out and you can't help nobody else out. And I think that in this realm of being, in this reality, people don't want to hear that. People always, if
It's
I stay
because,
so busy, I don't have to pay attention to other stuff that happen.
yes, that. And nobody taught them. So nobody taught them, not that you can't learn, because
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
but nobody taught them how to actually sit with.
hmm,
Our entire society is designed around not sitting with the shit that hurts that needs to be healed so that you can stop being a hurt person hurting people.
you're right, absolutely. I think it's kind of interesting,
What is that?
and holding people account, like
Let's talk about holding people accountable. I struggle with that.
So I do this group in Portland called Sovalti, and it's a fatherhood and domestic violence group for men, African American men particularly. And what happens is my job is to bring consciousness. There's a whole 366 day or more, maybe 70 day. It's like 54 weeks of curriculum. Okay. And
Oh,
it
so it's more
happens
than a
every week.
year.
Huh?
It's more than a year.
More than a year. And it's for 2.5 hours once a week. And what I realize is that sometimes, and there's a component that we have that women participate that have sometimes been victims. They don't meet with the guys at all. It's a totally different group that my sister Brenda Vaughn runs. But what happens is holding somebody accountable is when, if I hold you accountable and you're a grown ass man, I'm gonna let go of some shit. It's not my job to make sure you're okay with, like when we do the fatherhood, when I teach the fatherhood program, no, it's not her job to teach you anything. It's your job to go find out on your own. And and then I mix my consciousness with it. And this is where it gets really fucking weird. And most
By
people say,
weird,
"No,
he
how can
means
you say
suspicious.
this?" And Ifa, which is a Nigerian spiritual energy practice, it is said from Iyas and Babalawans, which are teachers, that you choose your parents for the experience, which now gets to a fucked up situation. Like, why would I choose something so eh? But if you look at it from a different perspective, you see it's just a choice. Here I go. Here's where I get weird. In multiple lifetimes, and life is so short that it's a blip. When you, if you just think how old the U.S. is, and if you've been here multiple times, and you've been here maybe 3 lifetimes, it's quick. And where this is the point of living that we've lived the longest so far in this reality.
Oh yeah, people were dying. Like Jesus was 35. He was like,
Yeah,
Jesus, homie. My
yeah,
friend was like, my friend was talking to me once about like Jesus not complaining when he was on the cross. I was like, he was up there for 3 days. I've been here for 26 years. When do I get off?
yeah.
Anyway.
And here's the piece that I say. And this is what's really fucking different about this, is that when does a person get tired of being a little boy? When do the people around them get tired of parenting grown ass people. And where's the space of allowance for people to let people do and be what they are with their kids? Like for once, like when I finish sometimes the groups, I'm like, dude, damn, we sending this kid back. Well, this is their daddy. And I mean, and I now, and I struggle with this. I struggled with this way before about, man, because I wanted to be in control. I wanted people to have the experience that I think they should have, and that's not fucking true. And how many times do we handicap somebody because this you so he, problem solving?
Mhm.
A lot of people can't figure their ass out of a paper bag, and if it has arrow, get the fuck out this way. They don't know how they won't follow the arrow. They're like, oh, I thought the arrow meant to go the other way. I'm like, okay, you're slow. So my point of what I'm saying is, I think that a lot of it, when we were talking about when we had I had the rant about little boy shit about guys not stepping up to the plate. That's because nobody allows them to do that. It's like riding a fucking bike. When you fall off the bike, you're going to scrape your knee. Get the fuck back on the bike. Get some band-aids and get whatever you need to clean it up. Get you some knee pads. Ride in the fucking grass. Whatever the fuck it takes. But ride the goddamn bike. And I think that that's just my thing when I see. I think that a lot of times, and when like little boy shit, like someone I hear, I was online and I was just, and I never really make comments with what people say. It's not my business, and they're not asking me. They ask me a question, I would say something. But if the person's behavior is doing this, if there's no interrupt, the behavior is gonna keep doing this. There has to be like you jump off, it lowers something like that. It has to change. And the question, I guess, because I hear a lot of sisters complain about this little boy shit. Well, yeah, but you keep on fucking finding little boys. So
You keep
who's the
choosing little
problem?
boys,
The
yes.
person being a little boy or
So
the picker? Is it if it's a combination of both? No, what I'm saying is a combination of
my
both.
picker is broken.
Is it truly broken? So where aren't we using the capacity of what is it? Being a bit psychic and asking questions about stuff about people when you know it's what it is, but you think it's going to change. See, I used to think that people, I really used to think people didn't know. I'm beginning to realize that they know, and they're hoping that it'll change. I had last night before I went to bed, I was watching this recording of Dick Gregory, and Dick Gregory was going off in his style about people hoping that something's gonna happen. Hope ain't shit.
Mhm.
Keep hope alive. Hope don't do
Women
shit.
love to fall in love with potential.
Potential is sperm is potentially a baby, but it is
It
also could
is.
be the inside of a rubber that gets thrown in the garbage.
Or
That's
a shot of protein, depending.
yes. So there your ass go. So what I'm saying is what I'm saying is I think that just there is lies a possibility of how do we start asking people questions about what about this is glamorous to you that you want to choose, and what's going on with you that you don't think you can have something greater. Because I'm like, sometimes I go someplace and I listen. Like I went to a bar one time. I was this a while back. I'm listening to the conversation going on. I'm like, they falling for this shit.
Oh my God.
It's
Anyway,
like, really? I mean, you fucking really falling for this? Are you hearing the same thing? Maybe my eardrums are toned different.
so here's one of the things women believe what they hear. Women believe what they hear over
Asking a question.
actions. Not even asking a question, which I will say that is becoming a thing. Like not in the access way, but
Mm-hmm.
women are starting to understand that if you don't ask, men won't tell. And that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the men that we encounter, like I was seeing this guy for 9 months, and I only at month 9 found out that I was his Thursday night activity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I flat out asked him, and yeah, he had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't asked,
But here's the piece, but that's it. Because see, here's the piece that I'm saying. Asking a question and watching the actions clears up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it really fucking does. Huh. I'm Thursday night. So what are you doing tomorrow night?
That was how we got there.
So what I'm saying is that, and ask the question from Jump Street: are we doing this solo? Are you by yourself? You know, am I by my am I the only one, or
I have a
is this
question.
multiple choice?
I
And if
have a
it's multiple
question for the
choice, if I
group to
huh?
put in your. Go ahead.
If it's multiple choice, then I get to play or not play. But if it's only, then I will see you tomorrow or the next day. And if the actions change that it's not possible after maybe one or two times, bye, Felicia. But people
Yeah.
don't want to be that honest with anybody. And so then they come back, and then something that we spoke about before. Now I'm the victim of this little boy syndrome.
Mm.
And the question I have is that yes, because and I'm not saying, and not just access shit. If I ask a person a question and they can't give me the answer I want,
Listen,
why do I stay with that?
well, okay. So I'm I'm gonna reiterate a conversation.
Yeah.
Um, and ladies, put this in your toolkit because it's really
Mhm.
um man and a woman on a date, and she says, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he says, "No." And she says, "Is there anybody in your life who thinks that they're your girlfriend?" And that's when he realized he was doing some shady shit.
Yeah.
But if she hadn't asked that question, he
Right.
was just navigating the gray area.
And that's and I do this thing when I talk to this, or I do some of these readings, Orisha, and you ask a question, and sometimes you get an answer, and it forces you to ask another question, and for more clarity. Because if you would have said he was right, the first question is like, yes, I'm not. You ask the next one, and then what happens in what this divination, the tools you use show up a different way, saying you need to ask another question. And I think that people aren't willing to be present because they want to run to the conclusion of I'm in a relationship.
You want to believe what you want to believe. I
Yes.
have to just take that all in because I do that with my body, with
Mm-hmm.
food.
Uh-huh.
And I do have to ask so many different kinds of questions to get the information that I need.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to eat some shit that's still going to give me hives. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I asked you if you wanted this. Why do you want hives?
Yeah. Yeah. I do that with sugar. And
You
what
just
happens is that
and you're
I,
just trying to get a yes to get eating some sugar, aren't
yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yes. The most addictive drug my body's gonna go after. Yes.
Free
But I
sauce.
have to ask another question. Is this going to be a contribution? Am I going to feel good? Am I, what's going to happen with my asthma? Because sugar's starting to trigger my. So there's a lot of stuff that I have to be able, and that's what I'm saying. Here's, sisters, I
Self
think a way of
sabotage
getting rid of the
every
little boy
night.
shit. Ask more questions. And now here's where I get the rated X. I hope Facebook's good with this, but too bad. If you're in for sex, but let it be sex, but don't make little boy shit be permanent. See, I have a different opinion of it. I think a lot of people, oh, John, and I'm older,
You
so
gotta know if you can handle that. You have to
so
know if you
so
have the
so
constitution
so
for
here's
that.
the piece that I would say that I think this kind of interesting. This is a blessing for me of me traveling in the past. I was watching a video, and there was somebody from the States. There was a wave pool, and this lady had on a revealing kind of bikini. Her butt cheeks was out. It was like the strap was up her ass, and so the butt cheeks was out. And somebody was on there saying, "Oh, these kids are around this, and blah blah. That's not appropriate." And what I recognized immediately is that that person only swims in the United States. That person goes to Brazil, they go to someplace in the Caribbean, or they go places in certain places in Europe. That swimming suit is appropriate for anybody, not little kids can be present. And what I recognize is that people have points of view about things that keep them either stuck or not stuck. And the judgments from other people hold that in place. That's
Yeah.
just what I observe. Because I'm like, where is it that, and I think that's the switch that's happening right now that people don't know how to deal with. I believe that some women are becoming more masculine in choice of having multiple partners. If you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I, I just believe that that's the piece, and I think that saying
Is
people.
that really masculine is the
Okay, so
face that
I
I'm
like that. So change that. Yes, you're right. It's not, but in the past, let me show you what I mean by the past. To give you an example, last night I watched on
the
what's the
recent American past. Carry on.
yes, recent American past, and maybe just the past of man. Period. I think of
Mm.
I watched a special of the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, and OJ was running around with a bunch of different women. And I wasn't there. I don't know who killed him, so don't ask me no shit like that. What I realized though is he was doing his thing, but he didn't want her to do her thing. And the masculine part of that is that I'm gonna fuck everybody, but you're gonna be my only one. So I'm gonna even lie to you to try to control you from not being a choice. And I think that now, when you look at what's the dancer, what's her name, the Stallion, who's in, or Nicki Minaj,
Megan, yeah.
they not rolling like that.
That is a toxic mimic of masculinity, but carry
Yes,
on.
but what I'm saying is that but here's the other piece about it, and this is where I probably differ with a lot of people. But if it's about sex, see, sex has nothing to do with a relationship. And some people look at sex as being a wild hyena that's just going to chase your ass down to try to get some. And what I'm saying is that if that's what's going on, that's what's going on. I think that the problem lies in the little boy shit continues because nobody asks a question about that.
Yeah, the lying is the little boy shit. I wanna be clear what I said what I meant when I said make sure that you have the constitution to handle that. I
Yes.
am not talking about anybody's religion. I am not talking about
Yeah.
anybody's moral beliefs. I am talking about you and your attachments. If you catch sexually transmitted feelings, you
Yes.
cannot be copulating with all of the
Yeah.
humans. You have to know if your genitals and my genitals get together and start partying, you
Mhm.
are not my boyfriend. And if
Yeah.
you're one of those people, then he needs to be your boyfriend before the genitals start their partying.
Oh yeah.
I am not built like that. I am just a snobby prude about myself.
Yeah.
And so I keep it all over here. I've had very few partners, not because I don't catch sexually transmitted feelings, or not because I catch sexually transmitted feelings. I don't. I'm very much one of those people who can have sex with you and never speak to you again. Or have
Oh,
sex
true.
with you every Friday night for 3 years and then never speak to you again. Like,
Right.
I'm built that way.
But what
But
I'm
I
saying,
choose to be
that,
discerning with my partners because of choices that I'm making,
yes,
not
and
because I
that
will get energetically ensnared.
that,
So
and I
I
think
wanted to make that distinction though, because some people, like, we are saying, do what works for you and your system. But
yes,
in order to do what works for you and your system, you have to know what kind of system you have.
exactly.
If you are a relationship person, if you are somebody who falls in love because his penis was in your vagina, then you cannot run around like Nikki and Megan.
Yes,
You cannot.
yeah,
You will wreck yourself.
yeah,
That was what I
that.
was trying to.
And once you drop the mic, because once you use that tool, then there's no little boy shit no more. Once you use that one tool that you described, there's no little boy shit no more.
Well, then you get to tell the little boys that they're being little boys, and then
But
they
you don't
get
have
to
to
look
tell
at you.
somebody when you see. So here's the other piece: all those places where people are having to tell somebody what they are, that's not going to change their choice or behavior. They have to change their choice behavior. You have a dialogue. And do you want that? And now here's the other piece. If you know, like, I say this to some of the guys, and in my classes. If you know that when you got with somebody, they were married and they were cheating on somebody, what the fuck you think they not gonna do that with you too?
I
If
have a
you get with this,
story about that, friends. Let me know if you want it.
if you got somebody and you going out with them and they start cheating with somebody else, they was cheating with you. So you
What
have to
did you
be open
expect?
to that possibility because that's how they were. And it's not. And here's the piece.
It's not a
I don't think it's
possibility,
wrong.
it's a
I don't think it's wrong.
probability.
I don't think it's wrong if that's how people roll. I think that the question happens like what you said. If you don't know what type you are, then you can't cry about when you are the effect of not being the type that you thought you were.
Yes,
And the way I see getting around that is you got to ask some questions. And the
ask
first
some.
question is not of the other person. The question is of you. There's this thing that I like out of the access conscious that I think is dope. Will this be easy? Will this be fun? What's a couple more? How long will this last? Is this a booty call? Is this like a lifetime or is this like a couple weeks, a month? You know, those type of questions allow you to be like, okay, this is what this is.
Yeah.
And people will answer, and then getting to the point, and I always say, getting to the point, trusting you first that you make the right choice to be with that person in this time period. Some people say 10 seconds. Yeah, you right. And then if it doesn't, then keep it moving. But the drama and, I'm chasing that person, checking people's phone, going to their house. Does that sound like a lot of work to somebody? That's a lot of motherfucking work.
So much work. It makes for good stories later, though.
For people who want to hear that shit, that's time. It's like, ooh, how you start? I need a drink. I'm gonna need a drink because the problem with it is, couldn't you just start over?
Right. Yeah.
And this ownership that we have, little boy shit of owning somebody, it's because they never owned their toys when they was little.
Or their agency. They never owned. They were never taught. And I feel like this happens. I'm going to speak specifically for the Black community because I'm a little bit brown and I grew up around some brown folks and was raised by some. There is this like, who do you think you are? And agency and boundaries and sovereignty as a general rule, not taught in our community. And then I am supposed to, though, know that I'm supposed to turn 18 and suddenly know how to set boundaries or who I even am, because some adult that I trust and respect and love said, who do you think you are? Enough times that I don't know who the fuck I am.
And that's the dilemma too. But I'm not going to give people the out to be able to sit in that space either.
Oh, just know that it exists so you can unravel it. I'm not saying, like, my mom did a bunch of fun shit because of who raised her.
Yeah.
But that does not excuse me from the healing that I need to do just because my mom had no idea what the fuck she was doing.
Yeah.
And, 2/3 of my kids are in therapy for the same reason. I'm sorry, your parents are your parents. Here are some therapists.
Yeah.
Let's do the work together.
Yeah. Well, y'all, we've been on here for a while, huh?
It's the pumpkin hour for John.
The pumpkin hour, yeah. Happy you guys can join us this beautiful Monday morning for you guys. Hope you have a wonderful week. We will be back next Monday. What do you have going on this week?
I am getting a car so that I can run away from home in it, hopefully.
How's it get better than that?
What do you have going on?
Tori and I are going to see Dave Matthews in the Gorge for 3 days, our annual getaway trip.
I love that.
And we're going to have some fun.
I'm
we're going to drive out early Friday, I think, to have some fun. Just got to get my kids to do some cat sitting for me while I'm out of town. Because we can't take Coco with us. We talked about it, but she wouldn't like it. So,
no.
Yep. But anyway, until next time, y'all, peace and blessings. Be kind to yourselves. Peace.
Bye, friends.
I can get out of here now. Oh, exit full screen, John.